we're just gonna have to roll with it today. I've got 13 recipes using our favorite convenience product, the Crescent roll. Get ready, it's gonna be good. From breakfast to dinner to appetizers to desserts. Listen, sometimes you just need a little help in the kitchen. Yes, I am capable of making all of my meals from scratch, but if I'm being honest, I'm an 80-20 kind of girl. You know, 80% fresh, homemade, whatever, and then 20% a shortcut. So the first one I'm going to make is a Crescent chicken casserole. The ingredients are super simple. You take 3 chicken breasts, or the equivalent to about 4 cups of chicken. Get that all shredded up. I went ahead and partially steamed a bag of broccoli. That's gonna be our veggie for the star of the show. So we're gonna make little chicken little dumplings, if you will. So we're gonna take our Crescent rolls, separate them into the triangles, and then you're just going to place your chicken inside and then roll it up. I'm gonna make a bunch of these and then just stick them in my casserole dish. Spray your casserole dish, and we're gonna take our little stuffed Crescent rolls and just place them in, seam side down. Okay, now this is not in the recipe, but I'm going to add in some broccoli. I've just kind of partially steamed this, and then I'm just gonna kind of scatter the broccoli all around, and then we are going to make up a little mixture to pour over. So a can of cream of mushroom and a can of cream of chicken. And a cup of milk. All right, and then the recipe says to go ahead and stir in the cheese at this point and pour it over. I'm gonna just top it with the cheese. So I'm gonna also sprinkle a little salt and pepper since I didn't season my broccoli. All right, and then we're just gonna pour this mixture right over the top as evenly as possible. And then I'm gonna sprinkle it with cheese. This just goes into the oven, 350 degrees for about 40 minutes or until it's all browned and bubbly. Oh my gosh, this is what my family's having for dinner tonight. My mind says let it sit, but my heart says dig right in. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. And I mean, you know, go back to the 80-20. It's like 80% of this is healthy or not terrible. It is the temperature of the sun right now, but my mouth just started watering. That Crescent roll just melts in like a chicken and dumpling. I cannot do this with all 13 of these, or I will be stuffed. I should have like a 1-bite rule, but it's just so good. Next up, just a little fun, easy breakfast mini cinnamon rolls. All right, so this recipe calls for, and a lot of these call for the Crescent roll, but that was because a lot of these were written before they invented the sheet. So this is a good time to use the sheet. They're usually the same price. Anywho, get your sheet and roll it out. All right, so I'm gonna make a little mixture of dark brown sugar, a little aggressive, and cinnamon. All right, and then I'm just gonna spread this evenly over the dough. Go close to the edges, but you don't have to go all the way. All right, and these are gonna be mini cinnamon rolls, so we're gonna roll them pretty tight. All right, so I'm using a mini muffin tin. The recipe calls to just put them on a baking sheet, but they don't really hold their shape that way, so I think this is your best bet. All right, then we're just going to cut these little babies. The amount you get might vary. I'm getting 17, 18. Also not in the recipe, but I think is a good idea, is melting a few tablespoons of butter just to drizzle over the top. I thought you were stuck up on me. Just a little drizzle in each one. Now they are really gonna be delicious. They're super small. They are not gonna take long. These just go in the oven for about 10 minutes. While they are in the oven, you just whip up an easy powdered sugar frosting. Just a little powdered sugar and milk and a little vanilla. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. Because they are less perfect, they look more homemade. Just gonna transfer them to a wire rack. These are so gooey. They're all like the inside of a cinnamon roll, which, if we're being honest, that's the best part. And I peel away the outer layers usually. Perfect bites. Yum, yum. I've got my coffee hot and ready for the perfect bite. The way that sugar has caramelized around the edges, y'all. They just melt in your mouth. Coffee. Everyone needs a new take on your Taco Tuesday, and we're doing a Mexican crescent ring. All right, so you're going to take your crescent rolls and separate them into the triangles and arrange them into a circle, slightly overlapping so that they all connect. 2 cans will get you a hearty size ring. 1 big sunshine of crescent rolls. All right, then taco meat, just meat, taco seasoning, and onion cooked together. So I'm gonna put a little cheese around the bottom. This is just gonna help it like not get too soggy. And then I'm gonna stir the rest of the cheese into the meat. Then we're just gonna spoon this mixture all along the ring in like the fatter portions of the ring. Now you take the outer pointy edges and wrap them around the filling. And then once it gets around, you wanna kind of seal it. You might should have built this on the pan, but sometimes my brain isn't working. So I'm just gonna slide it onto your baking pan. And it is as easy as that. So this goes into an oven 375 degrees for about 11 to 12 minutes. Look at this. Look at this. Isn't that precious? Just precious. Then I'm just gonna transfer it to a platter with all of your favorite like toppings. I'm gonna put some lettuce in the middle because my whole family loves lettuce with their tacos. Ta-da! You just make your little perfect little taco bite right there. That roll is the perfect vessel. It's the perfect like sweet kind of compliment. This is like delicious. It's like a taco casserole, but in a handheld package. We're gonna keep things well-rounded here, and I'm making a crescent wreath. This is so good, okay? I mean, I know it's just pigs in a blanket, but it's not, okay? We're gonna do a couple extra things to this that just, you know, make it special. This is really easy. Going to take your triangles, spread each one with a little bit of Dijon mustard, just a little. And then you're gonna take a little block of cheddar, slice it, and then cut it into little pieces like this. Then you're gonna take your mustard strips, do that. Place a little cheese down, a little sausage down, and roll. All right, and we just keep doing that. We're gonna have like 35 little piggies in a blanket. Oh, it's hurting my back. All right, so now we just take them and we form a ring shape. So take a bowl. We're gonna use that as a guide to get our outer part of our wreath going, and you wanna put these touching around the bowl so that that forms your circle. Then we take the bowl out and then layer the rest on the inside, kind of overlapping. I mean, come on. All right, so I'm going to brush the outside with an egg and then sprinkle it with everything but the bagel seasoning, because won't that be so delicious? Perfect bites. Going in the oven, 375 degrees for about 20 minutes. And in the meantime, we'll make a little dip because this is not a regular mustard situation. This is special. We are going to make a little jazzed up honey mustard, okay? You can use the same mustard that you used to spread on the crescent rolls. I've also got some stone ground, which I'm gonna use here. Like a heaping tablespoon there, and then some mayonnaise, about twice the amount, or 3 times the amount rather. A couple tablespoons of honey, and a couple little teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. It's like tangy, slightly sweet, a little pungent, and it's gonna be the perfect complement to those like smoky sausages. Look at this. These are not your ordinary pigs in a blanket. And then we're gonna take our sauce. We do have to just dress this up. Got some rosemary Admit it. You haven't had pigs in a blanket like this before. It's salty and smoky. And that roll, though, is a little bit sweet, but then you get that crunch from the everything bagel. Best pigs in a blanket you've ever had. This is a version of one of my most viral recipes I've ever done. Secret ingredient here, the country apple dumpling is just something you should just always keep on your radar, you know, because it's the easiest dessert that is going to blow people's mind. I've done apple and I've done peach. You can do whatever fruit you want for this. I'm doing pears today just because I haven't done it. I'm just gonna start by peeling the pear and then cut it into wedges. I don't mind if like a little peel stays on. I just think it kind of helps it look rustic. This is the way I do it. Instead of coring them, I just like cut it and then cut the core out. I don't even own an apple core, if we're being completely honest. Then we just roll each piece of fruit into our crescent roll. You want to kind of like seal them as much as you can and then place them seam side down into the baking dish. 2 sticks of butter, melt it, and then I'm going to stir in sugar and cinnamon. All right, you just want to get this mixed together, and then we're just going to pour it right over top of our dumplings. And for our secret ingredient. And then the magic will happen. That's it, 350, 35 to 45 minutes. Here we go. Then we're gonna top it with ice cream just to make it even better. Our little Mountain Dew miracles are ready. How does it happen? The smell is just amazing. Just wish you could smell it in here. I mean, it really is. This is like a truly magical dessert. Come on, come on. But the best part is this little liquid gold right here. You ready? That pear gets so soft. This gives you the same warm and fuzzy feeling as a made from scratch apple pie or whatever your grandmother would make. It's just damn magic. What's next? Let's go savory. Alrighty, we're gonna give you another little breakfast creation now. These are little sausage casserole cups. So I've just browned some breakfast sausage off. So I've got some softened cream cheese. This is just regular cream cheese into the bowl. And then recipe calls for like a vegetable cream cheese. I really like this chive and onion or like a garlicky herb one. So just a half a pack of that. I'm gonna put my sausage right on top of that just to kind of help melt it. Some red bell pepper, some green onion, and some cheddar cheese. And then you just mix all that up. All right, filling is done. This is another good time to use the sheets versus the individual rolls. All right, so I'm just gonna roll this out and you're gonna cut it into 24 squares. All right, then we just take each square and fit it into a nonstick muffin tin. You don't need to grease it because you don't want it to like fall down the sides. You want them to kind of be like sticking up like the 4 corners like that. Then you just spoon your filling right in. So put like a heaping teaspoonful. All right, then these bake at 375. You know this ain't gonna take long. These are super small. Eating good in the neighborhood. How little festive these are for a brunch. These are just so like perfect little bite-sized things. You know, you don't have to, you can skip that freezer section at Costco. These are things that you can make so easy and for less money than buying that big old box. So cute, perfect bites. You know that's a perfect bite right there. Perfect bite of sausage casserole. Rich and savory with just the hint of sweetness. 10 out of 10, perfect bite. Who doesn't love a Reuben sandwich? This is a Reuben casserole, but it cuts like a sandwich. Super simple. We're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients. I'm gonna take some sauerkraut and drain it. We're gonna bake the bottom crust. That's gonna be our first step to achieving a non-soggy crust. It's a good time to break out the sheets instead of the rolls, but if you have the rolls, you just push the little seams together. Place it into your casserole dish. All right, and then I'm just gonna bake this for about 8 to 10 minutes. All right, so when your sauerkraut is well drained, we're gonna mix it with our Thousand Island dressing. I'm also going to whip up an egg white. This is gonna add some sheen to the top. All right, toasty golden. And now I'm going to place a layer of Swiss cheese down. While it's hot, it can go ahead and start melting. Okay, then I'm just going to place all of this corned beef on. I'll just get it sliced super thin in the deli. Don't be chintzy, you know. All right, and on top of that, our sauerkraut mixture. Another layer of cheese. Okay, and then our other crescent sheet. And now I'm gonna brush that egg white over the top. Just gonna decorate the top a little bit with some sesame seeds. This kind of gives you that little, you know, sandwichy feel. All right, back into the oven for about 15 minutes. We are still rolling right along. Look at that beauty. Listen to this. Okay, so now we're just gonna cut this into squares. Look at this. Oh my God. This is a great way to make Reubens for a crowd. And look, not soggy. I'm just gonna eat it like a sandwich. The little tang from the sauerkraut, that savory cheese, and again, the little hint of sweetness. This kind of blew my mind a little bit. I didn't think it was gonna be as good as it is. It's daggum delicious. A+. We're making the ever famous Cronut. I, for one, have never had one. So we're gonna make a cheater version of it using this. So this is the croissant part of the Cronut, and then we're going to shape it and fry it like a donut for the donut part. You could probably air fry this situation too. You're gonna fold this, we're gonna make layers like a croissant. Try to make it long enough to get 3 donuts out. Then you can take the excess and get 1 more donut out of it. Okay, so get a smaller one and you can make the donut shape. So we got little donuts and little donut holes, and all we do is fry these up, and I'm gonna turn them into churro cronuts. Here goes nothing. Look how they've already puffed up. I mean, you can really see those layers. Okay, nothing like some fried dough. I'll let them drain, and then we're gonna toss them in some cinnamon sugar. All over, don't be skimpy. Look at that. A little dunk in some Nutella. I give to you churro cronuts. A little dunkaroo. We just keep having hit after hit after hit. We got to go back to savory after that sweetness, right? So these are little buffalo chicken bites. So I'm going to start with just mincing a little bit of onion. So in goes some onion and some chicken. This is just some cubed up cooked chicken. I do want it to be kind of small because these are small little bombs, okay? All right, then buffalo sauce, and then half the amount of ranch. Little onion powder, little garlic powder, cream cheese, and then cheddar cheese. All right, stir that up. And then we're gonna stuff it into our crescent rolls. Okay, so you got your little crescent roll. Gonna drop our little buffalo mixture in there. And then you're just gonna like completely cover it. Place them seam side down onto a baking dish. They will spread out a little bit, but not too much. Then I'm gonna brush them with some butter and top them with a little bit of cheese. These go in at 350 degrees for just about 15 minutes. I've been working hard. It's like I'm worn out. I need a little sippy sip. Yes, it's a party, it's a party. But how easy is this? And it's not your typical way to serve up the buffalo chicken dip, you know? Everybody always does it the same way, with just some Fritos. Not today. Oh. That is just, I mean, one of the best flavor combinations ever, buffalo chicken. And cold beer, match made in heaven. Raise your hand if your kid is a fan of cheesy breadsticks, because that's what we're making next. This is like one of those 2-ingredient appetizers. Take your sheet, cut it into 8. Take each one, cut it in half, place it down, and then roll it up. Seal it, place it on your baking sheet, and keep going. Okay? And now I'm just gonna take them and brush them with some melted butter and season it like I did the Olive Garden breadsticks. Now we just bake these up. It's only gonna take about 10 minutes or so. This is just the easy, like something special you can add to your pasta night. Cheese sticks out, smelling good. You'll notice I had a couple little spillages. We probably should have popped these in the freezer for about 10 minutes, or put your cheese sticks in the freezer before you make these. That's gonna keep them, you know, in there and from oozing out. Steamy, cheesy, garlicky goodness. Need I say more? That little garlic salt on the outside makes it, oh yeah. A+. One of our most popular, no fail, so good. Sopapilla cheesecake bars. So I'm gonna start by whipping up 2 things of cream cheese with some sugar and some vanilla. It's just a little bit. You could throw in a little lemon juice and lemon zest right here. Thank me later. Okay, that's the hardest part of the recipe. Get a baking sheet, grease her down, spread on your bottom crust. Down goes our cream cheese mixture. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, this is just like one of my favorite things. All right, and then our other layer. I remember the first time I made it, I couldn't believe how easy it was. Okay, now we make a little topping. For the topping, a stick of softened butter and some more sugar. Okay, and then a teaspoon of cinnamon. All right, and then just mix that up with a fork. All right, then I'm just gonna dot this all over the top. Okay, this goes into a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. We are in the home stretch. Look at this. All right, when it's cooled, we're gonna cut it into 12 squares. That is so good. I just love a coffee cake, a cream cheese coffee cake, and this is that, but like in a much easier, you don't have to be a baker type of recipe. And the sopapilla, you're supposed to drizzle with a little honey. I mean, seriously. Seriously, people? I'm in heaven. That little crunchy top. This is hands down, and I'm not lying, better than any coffee cake you can buy right now. So freaking good. This is gonna be grilled chicken pesto pizza. I'm gonna do 2 into 1 big pizza. Again, you could top it with whatever you want. All right, so all we have to do is just par bake our crust till it's like almost done, you know, like 80, 90% done, and then we'll top it, throw it back in, and we have pizza. This is really the dinner you make when you've got some leftovers in the fridge. I'm just gonna use the store-bought pesto. I love this kind. Don't skimp on the sauce, okay? That's the best part. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some of my cheese on. I've got mozzarella. I like to put a little on first and then a little on later. All right, then just some leftover grilled chicken. And then some caramelized onion. I just love this combination. I'm using red onion just because it makes it pretty. I think I'm gonna do just a little bit of tomato. Just these little cute guys, just to confetti, just to kind of sprinkle it around. A little feta. I love feta on my pizza. Okay, and then a little more mozz. All right, then I'm cranking the oven up to 400, higher temperature because it's all cooked. We're just trying to get it all melty and come together. A little crispy around the edges. Yep. Look at this. You didn't think that the crescent roll could get like pizza crust crispy, but it did. That is like pizza meets flatbread, not just, that like chewy pizza crust, which I do love, but this is like, again, a whole different experience. We're gonna make little pretzel bites. So I'm gonna take this strip of dough and I'm gonna roll them into little ropes. So I'm doing pretzel bites. I mean, you could at this point, I guess, roll it, turn it into a pretzel. So I'm gonna do like this. And then we're just gonna drop these into our boiling water. You can't just put your pretzels into plain water. What turns them into delicious pretzels, a little baking soda. So I'm dropping in some baking soda into the water and we're going to bring that to a boil and then we're gonna reduce it to a little simmer. This happens really quickly, so less than 10 seconds. Take them out and then place them on a parchment lined baking sheet. These are just one of those recipes where you just gotta trust the process. Boil a bunch of these, brush each one with a little egg, and then we're gonna bake these at 400 for about 12 minutes. Look pretty good. But are they pretzels? To finish it off, I'm gonna brush them with melted butter and sprinkle with salt. You know what these would be good dipped in? The same sauce we did the pigs in a blanket in. But if you're having a party, break out the beer cheese or the cheese dip, pretzel bites. My final trick. How did I do? Let's see if I go out with a bang. Tastes like pretzels. I don't know what I was expecting, but they taste like pretzels. And that, I kind of feel like I want some mustard too. We did it. We did it. I was gonna tell you to make at least one of these 13 things I just made for you today. But what I'd really like is for you to make all 13. Because I promise you're gonna love every single one.